On December 2nd, a crown claimed more than a throne. It claimed a continent. December 2nd is a date of transformation. Emperors rise, wars shift the power balance, and nations redefine empires. This day has witnessed coronations, decisive battles, and imperial ambition. For centuries, it marked the ascendance of one man's will and the reshaping of Europe. Today, we journey through the rise of Napoleon I, his triumph at Austerlitz, and the later return of imperial ambition under Napoleon III. Napoleon's self-coronation. In 1804, Europe was still reeling from revolution. Napoleon Bonaparte, once a general in the French Revolutionary Wars, had consolidated power. But he wanted legitimacy. On December 2nd, he stood in Notre-Dame Cathedral in Paris, flanked by clergy and aristocrats. When Pope Pius VII placed the crown on his head, Napoleon leaned forward, then snatched it, placing it on his own brow. It was not merely a ceremony, it was a statement. With this act, Napoleon declared not just himself sovereign, but master of his own destiny. The First French Empire was born. Through sheer force of personality and military success, he had transcended revolution, becoming emperor on his own terms. Battle of Austerlitz. Just a year later, on December 2nd, 1805, Napoleon's ambition was tested on the field of Austerlitz, also known as the Battle of the Three Emperors. Facing a combined Austro-Russian army, led by Tsar Alexander I and Holy Roman Emperor Francis II, Napoleon executed one of his most audacious tactical plans. He feigned weakness on his right flank, luring the Allies in, only to unleash a devastating counterattack. The result was a crushing victory. The Allies collapsed. Napoleon's Grande Armée emerged victorious. The Treaty of Pressburg soon followed, and Europe's balance of power shifted dramatically. Austerlitz wasn't just a military triumph, it validated Napoleon's claim to empire. His cunning, speed, and boldness proved that his crown was not just symbolic, it was backed by force. 1852. On December 2nd, Louis Napoleon Bonaparte declared himself Emperor Napoleon III, marking the birth of the Second French Empire. 1823. James Monroe articulated the Monroe Doctrine, which would reverberate across global geopolitics. 1908. Puyi, who would become the last emperor of China, ascended the throne as a child. Napoleon III's return. Decades after his uncle's reign, Louis Napoleon Bonaparte staged a daring comeback. After a coup in 1851, he gradually built support. On December 2nd, 1852, he officially declared himself Emperor Napoleon III. Under his rule, France modernized, rebuilt its cities, built railroads, and expanded abroad. But his imperial ambition brought conflict too. Wars in Crimea, and later in Mexico, tested his strength. Napoleon III's legacy is complex: ambition, innovation, empire, but also downfall. His rule would end after defeat in 1870, but his title marked a revival of imperial France and a new chapter in European power struggles. December 2nd is more than a coronation date. It's a turning point. Napoleon I's self-coronation shattered old conventions. His triumph at Austerlitz demonstrated that mastery on the battlefield could legitimize authority. And when Napoleon III rose decades later, the legacy of empire was not just restored. It evolved, merging modernity with imperial ambition. When a man crowns himself, history must pay attention. What do you choose? Tradition, revolution, or ambition? On December 2nd, Napoleon chose ambition, and Europe changed forever. If you want to explore more dramatic shifts in power, from empires rising to kingdoms falling, hit subscribe and watch our This Day in History series. Your journey through time starts now.